stand out. The decisive week for the Shinawatra family. This is about the future direction of Thailand, and it's a must-watch. Hello and welcome to the Deep Dive. Before we begin, please like, share, and subscribe. Today, we're really getting into a pivotal moment in Thai politics, focusing on the Shinawatra family, the legal challenges, the political ones. It all could dramatically shape the country's future. We're going to extract the key insights from the analysis we've been looking at, give you that shortcut to understanding what's really going on.
Absolutely. These next few weeks, they're just vital for Thailand. And like you said, it's not just about, individual court cases. It's all deeply interconnected. The ripple effects, they could go right across the country. So yeah, if you're watching current affairs, especially Southeast Asia, this is definitely something to keep a close eye on.
Totally agree. And the analysis really flags this period starting around August 18th, going through the end of August, and into early September as truly decisive for both Thaksin and his daughter, Paitongtarn. The outcomes here are going to seriously impact their political futures and, well, the whole Thai political landscape, really.
That's exactly it. These aren't just, private legal matters happening in isolation. They carry huge national weight. And the information we're working from today, it's based on very recent specific insights. It just underlines how immediate this all is and how potentially transformative, or maybe just highly unstable, this period could be.
Okay, so let's start with Paitongtarn Shinawatra then. She's got that appearance scheduled before the Constitutional Court. That's Thursday, August 21st. And this hearing, it's tied to an audio clip involving someone called Uncle Hun.
Right, the Uncle Hun case. And it's pretty significant context-wise because this is actually the third time a Shinawatra family member has been in front of the Constitutional Court. You had Thaksin before with his hidden stock case, remember? And then Yingluck with that transfer case, so now Paitongtarn, she's expected to give testimony. And interestingly, so is Kachai Bangshwad, who's the Secretary General of the National Security Council.
Okay, wait, Kachai Bangshwad. But the analysis pointed out something weird there, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. What's really intriguing, and the analysis highlights this, is that Kachai Bangshwad wasn't actually in the original conversation. The one between Paitongtarn and Hun Sen, the former Cambodian PM. So it immediately makes you ask, well, why is he being called as a witness? What could he possibly testify about? It's puzzling.
Huh. That is strange. Okay, let's unpack this. The analysis also mentioned a really interesting detail about her defense strategy. Something about the Harvard negotiation project. And a book, Getting to Yes. How common is that kind of academic defense?
It's pretty remarkable, actually, not something you see every day in these kinds of cases. Her legal team, they've submitted these explanations citing academic principles straight from Harvard. Specifically, Roger Fisher's 1981 book, Getting to Yes, Negotiating Agreement Without Giving In. They're basically framing her statement to Hun Sen, the whatever you want, I'll arrange it line, as a negotiation technique.
A negotiation technique. How so?
Well, they're calling it principal negotiations. The idea is she wasn't actually making a commitment. She was just trying to understand his position, his desires, without actually agreeing. And they're using a similar logic for her comment about the Army Region 2 commander, General Buntham Parklang, being on the opposite side. For that one, they're pulling out another principle. Separate the people from the problem.
Right, applying negotiation theory to political chat.
Exactly. And what's really striking, as the analysis points out, is using these, pretty high-level academic concepts for two very different situations. One's a political talk with a foreign leader. The other is kind of a casual remark about a domestic military guy. And there's also some speculation in the analysis about whether Paitongtarn herself, really understood or was consciously using these complex theories when she spoke.
That's a key point, isn't it? Does the defense work if the person didn't even know they were using the technique?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? How effective is this kind of sophisticated academic defense in court, especially if she gets questioned on it directly? Will the judges buy it, or will it just seem like, an overly intellectual excuse for things that sounded bad?
And personally, how is she approaching this? The analysis mentioned it's actually her 39th birthday, around the hearing date. And there was that Instagram post. So something about inner strength, mindfulness. Is she trying to project confidence? Or maybe something else?
Yeah, the birthday adds a sort of personal layer to it all. Regarding attending the hearing, there seem to be, differing views on whether she actually will. The analysis kind of lays out the strategic dilemma pretty clearly. If she goes, she has to face direct questions from the court, especially on those academic principles. Can she handle that convincingly? But if she doesn't go, it might look like she lacks confidence.
A calculated risk either way, then.
Exactly. The thinking seems to be if she's genuinely confident she can handle the grilling, she should probably go. If not, maybe safer to just rely on the written explanations they've already submitted. It's a tough call.
Okay, so moving ahead a bit. Friday, August 29th. That's the date the Constitutional Court is set to actually read the verdict in her case. And the analysis notes that few Thai party leaders seem confident, saying she'll be cleared, no signals of resignation. How solid is that confidence look?
Well, confident might be putting a brave face on it. The analysis draws a comparison to Yingluck's case, which, remember, ended unanimously, 9-0 against her. So while Pheu Thai might project confidence publicly, you could still see a split vote here, maybe 5-4 or 6-3, 7-2, who knows? And here's the thing. Even if the court acquits her, the analysis suggests she might not be totally out of the woods, politically speaking.
How so, if she's cleared legally?
Public confidence. Polls haven't always been kind, you know? An acquittal doesn't automatically fix perception issues, which leads to this really critical strategic point the analysis raises. Should she resign before the verdict? Because resigning lets her avoid a potentially really damaging court ruling.
Damaging how? Beyond just losing the case.
A guilty verdict for ethical misconduct could come with a lifetime political ban, and it could even impact her ability to sit on corporate boards. That's huge. That kind of finding would really stick to her, possibly forever, and for someone still relatively young, that's a massive risk to take if she thinks the verdict might go against her.
Wow. Okay, so a lot riding on that August 29th date for her. Now let's switch over to her father, Thaksin Shinawatra. He's got his own critical court dates coming up fast, too. First up is Friday, August 22nd. The criminal court delivers its verdict on his Article 112 case that's lèse-majesté and the Computer Crime Act charge, stemming from that interview he gave back in 2015, right?
Yeah.
With South Korean media.
That's the one. But it's important to remember, this August 22nd ruling is from a first instance court, meaning it can still be appealed. Twice, actually. So while it's definitely significant, the immediate impact might not be quite as final as some of the other dates we're talking about. And Thaksin himself, he'd apparently seemed pretty confident earlier about traveling abroad right after the 22nd before some of the other dates firmed up, suggests maybe he wasn't expecting this first ruling to ground him.
Okay, first instance, appeals possible. Got it. But here's where it gets really interesting, isn't it? The analysis highlights another really crucial date for Thaksin, September 9th. That's when the Supreme Court's Criminal Division for holders of political positions issues an order about enforcing his sentence in the Section 14 case. What's that one about?
Right, the Section 14 case. That provision deals with the conduct and privileges of political office holders. And in Thaksin's situation, it's all focused on that 180-day stay he had in the VIP room at the police hospital. Basically asking, was he genuinely ill enough to justify being outside of prison for that long? And the analysis points out the court has specifically ordered Thaksin to show up in person for this ruling on September 9th.
In person? That sounds serious.
It is. In this case, well, the analysis notes it's widely seen, both in Thailand and internationally, as one where the facts seem, let's say, clearer than clear. Yet it's still been under investigation, which leads to some people feeling the whole process involves ridiculous rules.
Yeah.
The potential impact here is massive. If the outcome on September 9th is unfavorable, well, it could totally change Thaksin's plans. Might even lead to an arrest warrant if he doesn't show up as ordered. And that would obviously be a huge blow to him personally and could really destabilize the current Pheu Thai government he's associated with.
Yeah, you could really see how tightly woven these two situations are. Paintarn's case, Thaksin's cases. It feels like a really critical moment for the whole family's political standing, and by extension for the stability of the current government in Thailand. Like one domino falling could trigger others.
Absolutely, they are deeply interconnected. If things go badly for both Pattongtarn and Thaksin, you could see significant instability for the Pheu Thai government. It's not just about their individual fates, it's tied directly to the country's political balance right now. Which brings us back to that sort of fundamental question the analysis touches on. Why is the future, the destiny of the nation, so wrapped up in this one family? And why does it feel like the country struggles to move forward, kind of stuck in this loop, this political drama trap?
And the analysis used a comparison to illustrate that trap, didn't it? Something about Vietnam.
Yes, a really stark contrast. Vietnam just announced this huge economic reform plan. We're talking, 1.88 trillion baht investment. Across 250 projects, they're aiming for 8% GDP growth this year, maybe even 10% in the next few years.
Wow, 8 to 10% growth.
Exactly. Now, contrast that with Thailand's projected growth, Right. Maybe only hitting around 2%. It just throws into sharp relief this question.
Yeah.
While Thailand is caught up navigating these incredibly complex, seemingly endless family political sagas, what are its neighbors doing? They're focusing on massive economic leaps forward. It really highlights the potential opportunity cost of being so bogged down in this political cycle. You have to wonder, when does the focus shift?
That's a powerful point. And thinking about how these political dramas play out in the public eye, our deep dive also touched on something really relevant for all of us today, didn't it? Just the challenge of figuring out what's true and what's not with all the information flying around, especially when things are so high stakes. The analysis even briefly mentioned, almost as an aside, the original content creator's own viral rap video, noting it was real, but used AI for the rhythm the human still controlled the message. Kind of a meta commentary on information itself.
Yeah, and that rap video example, it's actually a neat little bridge to the more serious issue the analysis details: fake news and scams. Especially ones using familiar faces, like political figures or commentators. The analysis gave specific examples, remember, like fake ads for medicines, maybe blood pressure drugs, using someone's likeness, or completely fabricated images, the person with a black eye, or being arrested, even fake stories about them being detained after, exposing government secrets on TV or something.
Right, classic disinformation tactics.
Exactly. And what's useful here is how these concrete examples from the analysis show just how crucial it is for all of us to be vigilant. To think critically, especially in this age of information overload. The analysis explicitly states those claims were totally fake, and it really encourages everyone listening to verify information before believing it, and definitely before sharing it. That's such a critical skill for us all as learners, especially when trying to follow complex, high-stakes political stories like this one.
Absolutely vital. So, wrapping this up, it's undeniable that the Shinawatra family is facing an incredibly complex period. The implications reach far beyond them, potentially setting the course for Thailand itself.
Yeah.
The outcomes of these next few weeks, these court dates, they're going to be defining.
They really are. And given these sort of recurring challenges, this deep entanglement of certain personalities with the nation's political progress, it does leave you with a final thought, doesn't it? A question, maybe, for you, listener, to ponder. What responsibility do citizens have? Responsibility to perhaps push for a political system that can move beyond these kinds of cycles, one that focuses more squarely on broader national development, kind of independent of these individual or familial fates. What steps can you, as someone trying to learn and understand, take? Maybe not to change everything overnight, but at least to better grasp these dynamics and think about what a different future might look like.
Very important question to consider. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Join us again for another great analysis. Thank you.